Hi friends, today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite summer recipes from my cookbook, jalapeno jelly. You just need a few simple ingredients for this recipe, the main thing being jalapenos. I have been collecting them and keeping them in the refrigerator until I know that I have enough to make jelly with. You need about a pound of peppers. You can also throw some bell peppers in there if you need to up it. We have about 11 ounces. Let's go outside and pick some more. Well, it's hot in Texas. I watered this morning, but the leaves are drooping a little bit. And a few more in there. Okay, we have about 14 ounces. That should be good. If we need to add in a bell pepper, we can. Next step is to give everything a good wash and rinse, and then I recommend getting gloves for this next part. Okay. Now to begin, we are going to cut the ends off of our peppers and then split them down the middle. So if you want a super spicy jelly, you can just chop the ends off and throw this whole thing into your food processor. However, I like a little bit milder jelly, so I slice them in half so that I can remove the seeds and the inside membrane. You can do half and half. I usually leave a few whole ones in there for kick, but then scrape out the rest of them. Ta-da! A couple whole ones in there. From here, you only need 3 things to make this jelly: sugar, 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, and a package of liquid pectin. Okay, so I've added our peppers into the food processor, and we are going to add 1 cup of our apple cider vinegar. Okay, puree until it is finely blended. Now I've got my handy canning pot on the stove. I'm going to add the jalapeno mixture, the remaining 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, and 6 cups of sugar. Before I start anything with canning, I will get my water bath canner out, add in the jars that I'm going to use along with the lids and rings so that they can start sterilizing and heating up while everything else is cooking. So our mixture here we're bringing to a boil, and now that I see a little bit of bubbles, I'm going to go ahead and take out my jars, and I like to place a dish towel over here to set them on so that they're ready to put this mixture in once it's done. That's what this tool is for, to grab your 1 big jar in there. Grab your jar, place it on the hot towel. Then you take this little tool to pull out your rings and lids. Now add a rolling boil, and when you stir it, it still keeps boiling. Now we're going to add our liquid pectin and boil hard for an additional minute, stirring constantly. Now we bring our mixture over here. With the help of a trusty little funnel, we are going to scoop the hot mixture into our jars. I also have in the book, you can add a drop of green food coloring if you want to make it a little more vibrant. One time though, I added, it was like a teal green, not realizing it wasn't like regular green, and it made it kind of neon looking and it looked like radioactive, so I just skipped the food coloring step. When you read canning recipes, you will see that it calls for a 1/4 inch headspace, 1/2 inch headspace. Basically, headspace means the distance from the top of the liquid to the top of the jar. This recipe, for instance, calls for a 1/4, which if you buy the kit that I have linked here, it comes with a spatula that you can measure. For me, it's just around that top line of the jelly. Now that we have it filled, we are going to wipe off the jars and seal with our rings and lids. You want to make sure there's no food on the top of the glass because that will impact the seal with the metal. If you happen to have a partially filled jar, you can skip putting it in the water bath canner, just let it cool, and then you can refrigerate that one and eat it first. Now we are going to place our jars of jelly back in the water bath canner. You want to make sure that the water is completely covering the lids and then boil for 10 minutes. So, okay, now that they've processed, we're going to pull them out.